Well, what they say in French, plus la change, plus la même chose. The more things change, the more they stay the same. So in some senses, you know, even though I've been at this a long time, certain things don't change. I look for the best musicians, the ones who play with beautiful sound and great sense of style, and rhythm, and in tune. So that hasn't changed at all, really. Repertoire-wise, I think we try to cover a big spectrum of styles from Baroque to contemporary music, and also this year we have several contemporary pieces. Actually 14 different contemporary composers are represented this summer. So in a way, I think things really haven't changed. We play a lot of the staples of the standard repertoire, but we also put in other things that, well, more contemporary things. The thing that has changed, I think, is more and more the presentation of the concerts. I'm always interested in bringing the audience in, and I'm doing this more and more. Even concert like tonight's concert, which we're doing, a contemporary piece by Victoria Bond called Bridges. We have photographs of the 5 bridges that inspired her work. We also have, to start the concert, the Vivaldi 4 Seasons with 4 of our soloists from the orchestra, our 4 soloists from the orchestra, but also using Vivaldi's poetry so people know exactly what's being depicted in the music. It's very clearly stated in the score, and so the audience will know as well. And then the final piece, the Variaciones Concertantes for Ginastera, just the audience will be able to follow the movements very easily. So these things I've always done, but I'm doing them more and more because it's so important, I think, to let our audience know what's happening and within the music. So they're sort of they have the inside story, as one of my colleagues pointed out, what we call active listening, or what he called active listening, which I've picked up on. So they're not just sort of sitting there enjoying the sounds, but they get inside and they see what the music is all about. John Williams is indeed an American icon, and actually I would say that he's most responsible for bringing the symphony orchestra back into the movie studio. I believe at the time in the 70s that possibly the trend was to use more electronic sounds, etc. But with Williams' unbelievable scores, we're able to not only hear them in the movies, but also present them in concert as being such fine symphonic works. I think an interesting thing is when you're watching the movie, the music is such an integral part of what's happening that you don't really recognize the music as such while you're watching it. You don't say, oh, that's a great theme, or that was really a great moment. But afterwards, when you isolate it, you just see how wonderful the music really is. And I've done an awful lot of his music and have a lot of respect, of course, for what he's done, and I find him, I've only met him once face to face, and it was, needless to say, a great experience just to have an opportunity to meet him. But I've always done a lot of his music, and he has a very distinctive sound, I think, which is easily identified when you hear his music. Well, to me, it's very rewarding to see the musicians as they leave here and the amazing effect that these 8 weeks have on their lives. I just heard the Dallas Symphony over in Vail. I counted 14 alumni in that orchestra, plus a couple of extras who are alumni. And it's just a very rewarding feeling. Their principal oboist told me, Erin Haddington, after her season with the NRO, she decided she really wanted to be an oboe player, and she's succeeded tremendously, and is just a great player and a great individual who actually comes back here and coaches our young oboists each summer. So just a rewarding part of seeing what these 8 weeks do for our musicians. Not only are they exposed to a lot of music, but they also experience a kind of camaraderie and with their colleagues, and a support system which is very, very special. They're treated like gold by the people in the community. We have our community link program where they're hooked up with families throughout Summit County and get to enjoy the amazing scenery, biking, hiking, although the weather this summer has been pretty dreadful, and it's put a crimp into, I think, everybody's style. It's hard to go up Quandary Peak when you can't even know that there's a mountain in front of you. My favorite piece to conduct, how about all of them? That's the easy, politically correct question. I don't know. I think one concert to me, which was extremely special, was the Spanish-themed concert where we started with Copa El Solo Mexico, followed by Dance Song No. 2 by Marquez, and then the incredible guitarist, Jason Bio, Grammy Award-winning guitarist, came out to be with us in Breckenridge, which was very, very special. And then doing the complete three-cornered half ballet by Manuel de Falla with the super titles for people who follow the story of the ballet. That was a very, very special concert. But they're all special, what can I tell you? They're all good. But that one particularly comes to mind, and as I was preparing, I knew this would be a very special experience. Well, quite frankly, it's a good recruiting tool. I mean, we're not the only show in town. We have that little festival in Tanglewood and that other one called Music Academy of the West, and we're constantly in competition to get the best players. So to me, if I really want a particular string player, and the person has the possibility of playing a solo, I think that's something very special and an opportunity that they may not get in other places. So, for example, one of our concert masters, I asked if he might be interested. We talked about the Barber Concerto, and then I happened to mention the Red Violin by John Corigliano, and he thought that'd be a great idea, and so we wound up doing that, which was really a terrific experience. And so mainly our string players get to play solos. We do have a competition to pick an additional soloist or two. In this case, a cellist won. But in the last several years, we've had clarinet players win, which is nothing to do with the fact that I play the clarinet, but they're extremely talented. And so we've been able to, I think, give opportunities for our musicians, and our audiences, especially our residents of Summit County, really enjoy seeing the orchestra members featured as soloists. Tonight we have 4 soloists playing, each playing one of the Seasons by Vivaldi. So that's a way to hopefully ensure that these people really will choose us as opposed to one of the other festivals. So I found that to be, number one, giving them an opportunity to play, and featuring them, I think, is very special. Yeah, well, the last 2 times I played, I couldn't believe how dry my mouth was, and I wish I had taken a slug of water before I played, but that's besides the point. No, I enjoy playing with the orchestra. We do see a Gershwin medley coming up, a klezmer piece coming up, all the clarinets played Leroy Anderson's Clarinet Candy. I played Stardust, which is always fun, Cantina Band. So I like to come out and play my jazz and novelty pieces. I mean, I'm not going to play the Mozart Concerto or the Nielsen Clarinet Concerto for sure, but to play these fun pieces, I'm always happy to play.